Shabbat Shalom and greetings to you all. Now, I hope you all had fantastic Seders. Now, many went by the new virtual route, and most of those tended to follow the medieval formula that we've used for these last several hundred years. And I hope it does not become the new normal way to gather. Now, several also chose to take the opportunity, and they kept it closer to the original Passover. A few people wrote to me to tell me, they enjoyed the virtual one, and a few people wrote to me to tell me how much they enjoyed the time with their nuclear families as they had more pointed discussions than they normally have. The time they would have spent reading from the book was devoted to talks about what freedom means, what constraints and pharaohs they faced, each of them. They talked about the plagues and what they meant, what they did. They said they felt a little bit more connected to the purpose by focusing on 3 foods instead of the 6 foods from medieval times. Now, neither is better than the other. The goal is to get something from it beyond seeing people on a video screen and reading the same story. Bring the purpose to life. Now, as is usual, every Seder that you ever attend should be completely different. They should never be the same. Now, I've done them for over 100 people. I've done them for 3 people. I've done them in 45 minutes, and I've done them in 6 hours. No two are the same. And one of the reasons each is different is that wherever possible, I never use a book. V'hagadala diber b'yom hahu, and you shall tell your son. It's not a story to be read. It's a story to be told and discussed. And whether there are 2 or 200, you must encourage all to speak, but from the heart, not from the page. It's not about martyrs or children. It's about what holds you back, and it's about you. Who or what is your Pharaoh? Your fear, your constraint. And how do you break the chains? And how do you be free? Unchain my heart, baby, let me be. 'Cause you don't care, so please set me free. Unchain my heart, baby, let me go. Chain my heart, 'cause you don't love me no more. And during the evening, whenever and wherever you are, you eat from the table of God and you have special food, right? It's an evening that's devoted to all of your senses. Food that was specifically determined well over 3,500 years ago. Food that tells the story of freedom and points to a moment in time that is forever etched in the collective consciousness of man, as it is one of the oldest tales still told. And it's a time that we welcome others. Normally, everybody you know to celebrate coming together in this periodic episode of freedom that takes place every year. It's like we do every week as a like-minded group in our showing of faith, of love, as a community, a chavura fellowship, when we express our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes that unites all people in this community house of Spirit Beth Ruach. So once again, go ahead and invite everybody you know in body, mind, and spirit to gather and share from Psalm 133, the Hine Matov. Come together right now. Hine Matov. Shevet Avinu. Hine Matov. Shevet Avinu. How good, how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community. 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 Together. All of us together, my friends, as a community. Let's all spread love, goodwill, and fellowship to the entire world. As we generate spiritual connection that unites each of us together as a whole, we can send healing and renewal energy out to the world. So let's send special prayers for Joseph, for Johnny, for Cassie, for Virginia, for Devorah, for Ben and Lindsay, for the world right now, for everybody you know in need of renewal. Let's send love and renewal and healing to them, and make sure you include yourself, because you need renewal too, my friends. It is the kindness, the healing, which is the goodwill and the love that we all send out. Just circles the world, finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care, because the world is a world of spirit, and spirit, my friends, never dies. Makor ha-bracha, may the source of strength bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body, the renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. Yishaberach, let us all have our spirits renewed. May he who blessed, because healing is a blessing, is a chance to help. Let me thank you, because you're all devoting just a little bit of your sacred time and your sacred space to me, to the world. And I'm very appreciative of it, because this is what your time is. It's you spending sacred time honoring your own beliefs. And if you can take a full day for it, that's great. But if not, a little bit of time can be a part of your intention that you put out to the universe, your kavanah that you send out everywhere. It goes out ahead of you. Now, we are in what is known as the chol moed, the intermediate days of the holiday. There's two holidays that have intermediate days, this one and Sukkot. And during the intermediate days, we do not read a fresh part of the Torah. We reread an older one. And in this case, we reread a bit about Moses and the second tablets and the shining face. We're not going to read any of that today. And it just so happens that at this time of the year, we also have the second half of the twin festivals of freedom, Good Friday and Easter Sunday. Good Friday commemorates the crucifixion of Jesus. And Easter Sunday, also known as Resurrection Sunday, is actually the schism between Judaism and Christianity. And that schism is centered around the resurrection. The iron head, it ain't no match for the iron rod. The strongest wall will crumble and fall to a mighty God. For all those who have eyes and all those who have ears, it is only he who can reduce me to tears. Don't you cry, don't you die, and don't you burn. Like a thief in the night, he'll replace wrong with right when he returns. I could be waiting a while. So have a wonderful Easter, if you celebrate it. Now, I personally love the day after, when all the great Easter loot goes on sale. But with all the stores closed, I'm not sure what I'm going to get to do this year. But don't forget, we have these twin festivals of freedom. One is freedom from fear, and one is freedom from sin. That's how they're centered. Okay. Now, these intermediate times are the times to think about what the holiday truly represents. In this case, it's your chance to be free of the fear. The Pharaoh that holds you in Egypt, in Mitzrayim, in confinement, in constraint. He just celebrated the most important holy day in the Bible, the day to celebrate freedom. It's not a physical thing. You're physically free. It is your mental freedom, your freedom to choose. And we have some of those restricted freedoms right now. And that, my friends, impacts you emotionally, socially, physically, psychologically, spiritually, in all ways. So choose and embrace freedom. But really, freedom. It's not from reading a story. Now, I love Passover for what it represents and is. But like most things, there are great things and there are odd things about just about every holiday. And I think the oddest thing about this one is we now begin this strange animal known as counting the omer. And really only the Orthodox do it. It does not matter what it is, but for those who want to know, it was a measure of grain. And its countdown celebrates the Great Epiphany, the Ten Commandments, the revelation to 600,000 people, a celebration of the great rules of life. And at one time in our history, when we're still putting our liturgy together, those rules, the Ten Commandments, were actually recited daily, along with the Testament of monotheism, the cornerstone prayer of Judaism, the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Listen, O Israel, the Lord is God. There is but one. Now, what a statement that is. What more needs to be said ever? Friends, there is only one God. It's the same God for all. And I will encourage each of you to do nothing other than that. Just read the Shema and the Ten Commandments every day. It'll take you a couple of minutes. Simple rules for life, and you will be freer than you can imagine. You will live life with respect for all, and you will radically alter the trajectory of your existence. I am the Lord your God who brought you out from the land of Egypt, from a house of slaves. That's the new permanent calling card of God, not as a creator, but as a liberator. You shall have no other gods. You shall not make a statue, or any form that is in the skies above, or that's in the earth below, or that is in the water below the earth. Now we know it is no graven image. You shall not bring up the name of the Lord your God for a falsehood. We know, in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to make it holy. Honor your father and your mother. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not testify against your neighbor as a lying witness. You shall not covet. Now, these are simple rules for life. The first three are about our relationship to divinity. The next two are a bridge between the divine and the mundane, between our souls, our roots, and our bodies. The final five are about how we relate to fellow humans. Who can't follow 5 rules for how to relate to humanity? God created the world and all the people the same, to be the same, to be one, to be different parts of a greater whole. As it was in the beginning, so we hope it will be in the end. It just seems to be taking us quite a while to get there. One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel all right. One love, one heart. Give thanks and praise to the Lord. I will feel all right. Let's get together and feel all right. Not such a hard thing to do. We do praise God. And we do have faith, and we do have hope in faith. Moreover, there's a faith component to everybody's life, including even atheists' lives. See, even atheists believe good and evil really do exist, and that life may have a purpose beyond one he or she is made up. Or that free will exists, or that, for that matter, science alone may not explain how the universe came about, or how life arose from non-life, or how intelligence, and believe me, I use that term quite loosely, arose from non-intelligence. They strive for reason in favor of faith, but do not rule it out. They never rule it out. Freedom is the freedom to believe what you choose to believe, and it is the freedom for you to be you. Now, in addition to this being the time of freedom, this is a special time of the holiday, because as we come up on the last day of Passover, it's also one of the times of the year to do Yizkor, the public mourning. And when we do that for Passover, it reminds us that Yom HaShoah is coming up a week later. That's Holocaust Remembrance Day. So when lighting a Yizkor candle, please also light a candle for the martyrs of the Holocaust. Now, the word Yizkor means to remember. And it refers to a special prayer said on behalf of family members and others who've passed. It's an opportunity for living relatives to have an elevating spiritual impact on the soul of a departed loved one. For the person saying Yizkor, it can be a very important reflective moment. Now, originally, Yizkor was only said once a year, Yom Kippur, but now it's said 4 times. Yom Kippur and the 3 gathering festivals of Passover, Shavuot, and Sukkot. Now, Yizkor can be recited on behalf of any relatives, though people are most often saying it on behalf of those for whom Kaddish is said: parents, children, siblings, spouse. Although the Yizkor service is brief, you will often see all congregants, other than those who will be saying Yizkor, leave the synagogue while it's said. It's not a requirement. You can still participate, even if just to honor those you want to say a remembrance for. It's also not necessary to be done in a synagogue. It's part of a service. Anyone can, at any time, say Yizkor privately at home. The honoring and remembering of anyone sends energy out to the universe. And it's actually something we often do. It is a remembrance. And I remember my dear friend Bob. We remember them. The rising of the sun and its going down, we remember them. At the blowing of the wind and the chill of winter, we remember them. The opening of the buds and the rebirth of spring, we remember them. The blueness of the skies and in the warmth of summer, we remember them. The rustling of the leaves and in the beauty of autumn, we remember them. The beginning of the year, when it ends, we remember them. As long as we live, they too will live, for they are now a part of us as we remember them. When we're weary and in need of strength, we remember them. When we are sick, when we are lost, we remember them. When we have joy we crave to share, we remember them. When we have decisions that are difficult to make, we remember them. When we have achievements that are based on theirs, we remember them. As long as we live, they too will live, for they are now a part of us as we remember them. Now, we are each different, and we each observe in our own ways. And a non-communal, quiet, personal way is just as good as any other way. We are brokenhearted, and friends, we mourn for the people that we love. We're the brokenhearted people living in the rural degree. There will be an answer, let it be. For though they may be parted, there is still a chance. They will see, there will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Now, I often tell those who ask, the effort to say Yizkor is a beautiful statement of respect for the departed, for any of the departed. For people who are not familiar with the prayer service and who may not read Hebrew, there are always people there ready to help one learn how to say Yizkor, but you can say it in English. It's a time to honor members of your family, of your community, the people you knew and loved, the people you heard about, those whose paths you never crossed, and the martyrs and the freedom fighters of history, to honor and elevate the spirits of them all, because that's what you're doing. You're honoring them and you're elevating their souls. Judaism does not spend a lot of time talking about the afterlife. Perhaps a little bit more this year than others, when mortality is a real issue. But most people get most of their knowledge of it from movies or from TV. It's been an important part of the study of Judaism, but it's not been disseminated well. It's still primarily in the realm of rabbinic studies, and it's usually of the mystical parts of Judaism. It primarily exploded knowledge-wise in the Middle Ages. Until then, it wasn't talked about much at all. Now, we come into this world composed of 3 parts: the body, the personality, and the soul, each with a different time frame of existence. And the essence of every human life is the soul. After death, the soul lives on. Yizkor is about life, death, eternity, about the core mission we all share to bring light, life, kindness, and goodness into this world. But the unequaled bond, the timeless connection between you and someone you loved and still do. Yizkor is far more than a ritual or a prayer. It is a gift from your soul in this world to the soul of your loved one in the next. Each of us is a blend of physical and spiritual, body and soul. The Hebrew word for soul is neshama. And it comes from the word meaning breath. When God created the first human being, he breathed the soul into the physical body. The breath of God is the source and essence of the soul, and there is a circular relationship between us and God, as God's out-breath is our in-breath, and our out-breath is God's in-breath. We seek to connect, and the prayers, the rituals, the observances, and the liturgy that we do is simply designed to foster that connection. Judaism does not view the soul and the realm of the spiritual as the exclusive domain in which to live life. The Torah teaches us that people are created in the image of God. This means that just like God breathed spiritual life into an inanimate physical body, in a sense, we can do a similar thing. We do not run away from the body, we refine it. Whether it's good food, sexuality, or relaxing, Judaism views life as an ongoing challenge to elevate the body and infuse the physical with the spiritual. They must work together. Early rabbis saw the body like a horse, and the soul as the rider. And as with anything else, the question for us is, who's leading who, and in what direction? You see, friends, Judaism sees life as a shared body-soul experience. And the question is, which of the two is the most influential in shaping our lives? Will one's life be primarily defined by the body, while the soul is relegated to brief cameo appearances? Or will the soul be the star of the show, with the body playing a wonderful supporting role? Now, in the world to come, the soul steps in front of the mirror of self, where it has a deep realization of everything good and meaningful it achieved in the physical world. The result is profound. It's an experience of closeness to God. Physical and spiritual, good and evil, deep and superficial, productive and destructive. Actions that have places in this world. In our lives, we can always grow, change, improve, and live a much more soul-focused life. That's what Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur are all about. After death, the time for achieving is past. What is done is done. Nonetheless, there remains a powerful way that the soul can gain new levels of elevation, even after death. The living have the ability to enhance the condition of a departed soul. In the afterlife, that is where Yizkor comes in. So the idea of remembrance is founded on two fundamental Jewish beliefs: that the prayers and actions of people in this world can have an elevating spiritual effect on the souls of the departed, and that the primary mission in every person's life is to make the world kinder, better, a more beautiful place. This pursuit of goodness and kindness is known as Olam Chesed Yibneh, to build a world of kindness. Now, the brief Yizkor service is a beautiful expression of these ideas. When you make an effort to help someone else and do so in honor of a departed relative, that person becomes the motivating cause behind your act of kindness. The result is threefold. You become better, a more giving person. The departed soul of whoever is elevated, and the recipient benefits from your kindness and generosity. So think of whoever you wish to remember. Say their name. As I do this for Cindy's Bob. We all miss him. His soul lives on. May God remember the soul of, fill in the name, who's gone on to his or her world. Because without making a vow, I will give to charity or provide a service on his or her behalf. As reward for this and in the merit, may his or her soul be bound in the bond of life, together with the souls of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, together with the other righteous men and women in the Garden of Eden. Let us all say amen. Now bless you all. Have a fantastic week, a week of love and light, a week of peace. Work on manifesting your new year, your new life, with your newfound freedom, the freedom to be you. Even while in self-imposed isolation. Honor and remember the people in your life, and honor the journey you are on. Honor yourself, and friends, keep your eyes open to what you may not be seeing. Keep your ears open and listen to the world around you. We set in motion all that happens in our lives. Our intention, our kavan, our cause, our effect, everything is linked. You have the time to forgive and to be forgiven. You have the knowledge of what is good and bad, so acknowledge what you've done wrong to yourself, to God, to any person you've wronged, and ask forgiveness. But do so with sincerity, accountability, and vulnerability. Forgive those you've hurt, as you learn to be forgiving and compassionate. Never stop your journey. Do not stop moving towards your own promised land. It's always in sight. So keep on dreaming, keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching, keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear, follow love. It's always in front of you. And remember to have faith, an unwavering adherence to principle, just as I have faith in the principle of love in all of you. Act with purity of heart and mind, despise none, defraud none, hate none, cherish all, honor every child of God, every creature of the earth. May all people know peace this year, and may you nurture kindness and love everywhere you go. Work to be present in the body. Expand your heart, quiet your mind, because the deepest source of true, real power lies in your consciousness and your ability to be present, to be mindful in all of life's circumstances. Work on your intentions, your kavana. Continue to believe in the premise of decency, of goodness, of humanity. Turn your dreams into your beliefs into reality. Put intent into the new beginning of the spring of your life. Focus on being free. Give love, my friends. Embrace love, not fear, forgiveness, not anger, and be there for someone, because someone will always be there for you whether you know it or not. And remember and honor all those who've had an impact in your life. I'll remember you when I've forgotten all the rest. You to me were true. You to me were the best. When there is no more, you cut to the core quicker than anyone I knew. When I'm all alone in the great unknown, I'll remember you. You know what, friends? Remember all of those that you have loved and lost. Be happy, be healthy, be helpful, be kind, and be loving. Print your will on the blank canvas of life. Join us next week. We'll return to our regular weekly show and witness the first ordination ceremony of the priesthood. Shabbat Shalom and blessings to you all. Take care. Thank you very much.